All right, you guys. Browns head coach Todd Monken and GM Andrew Berry continue to make moves to build up this roster that has a ton of holes. They have brought back 6 people to help this team compete and win games alongside Shedeur Sanders. We have to get into that. And plus, we got Mel Kiper, who went on ESPN Cleveland and stated that Shedeur Sanders is QB1 and should be QB1. He's been standing on business since the draft. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification to hype the video. Let's get right into it. We have here on clevelandbrowns.com, Browns tender exclusive rights free agents, okay? Here it says the Browns have made the following transactions. They are tendering the rights to Brendan Bates, tight end, Malachi Corley, wide receiver, who made a few, he had some splash plays for this team last season on jet sweeps and reverses and things like that. So actually, I like Malachi Corley. Linebacker Winston Reed, and long snapper Rex Sunhara, and kicker Andre Schmidt, and wide receiver Jamari Thrash, who's a young wide receiver, okay? So they are tendering the rights, the exclusive rights to these 6 players, and that is what GM Andrew Berry has done recently. They made the trade for a right tackle, and now they tender the rights to these 6 players, and hoping that they can develop and help this team win this season. Let's go to what Mel Kiper had to say on ESPN Cleveland about Shedeur Sanders.
I thought he played really well. I watched every snap. I don't know what people would expect from a kid. I said had to go through what he did in training camp and then gets thrown out there, guys he never threw to, and had an offensive line decimated, receivers dropping balls, running backs that were good, like Judkins getting hurt, the centers going down in games, playing in awful weather, rain, snow, cold, wind, you name it, and gutting it out there and getting the job done and showing. A couple of things he showed. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but he also had some drops. He had a ball dropped in the end zone by Judy and ended up being intercepted. So that 3 interception game should have been a 1 and 2, not a 3 and 0. So at the end of the day, the way he competed, the arm strength in those weather conditions, didn't have an issue there. And in terms of mobility and athleticism, he showed that. People said he couldn't do that. He held up physically, taking hits, some incredible shots he took. So to me, I don't know what else you would want, considering what he had to go 3 and 4. Could have very easily been 4 and 3. Like I said, when he was on the field with Cam Moore, did you see much difference there? The number 1 pick and a 5th-round pick. Did you see much difference? I didn't. Obviously he's already proven to be better than Dylan Gabriel, who was a 3rd-round pick. And is he their quarterback of the future? I think he is. The doubters are and the haters are going to be out there saying he's not. Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But I got to believe he's surpassed expectations by miles, considering what he had to overcome this year.
Preach it, Mel. Preach it.
How would you compare Mel Shedeur to, behind Mendoza, the other quarterbacks in this draft in 2026?
Well, he's the second. He would be right there. Shedeur, is as good as any. Ty Simpson, would you rather have Ty Simpson or Shedeur Sanders? Okay, would you rather have Garrett Nussmeier, Shedeur Sanders, or Carson Beck, or Drew Aller, or any of those different guys? Taylor Green. I'd rather Shedeur Sanders, and he's already proven what he can do, and against a terrible situation that he was thrown into, with, like I say, the talent around him, not getting it done, and not being able to get it done at the level you need. So they know what they have to do. They got to address the offensive line, get receivers to catch the football. Obviously, even Fannin at the end of the year got hurt. So you took away the weapon there at the end. So to me, I understand what people say. What they do in this league, and I said this all year, hate every quarterback comes out. And 8 times out of 10, you'll be proven right. Because nothing will ever be good enough. If you hate all the quarterbacks, maybe you'll get proven wrong by a Patrick Mahomes or whatever, right? But you'll say until Josh Allen wins the Super Bowl, you keep saying he's overrated. Okay, that's what you keep doing. You keep saying until they win Super Bowls, just keep saying, I told you he wasn't that good. He didn't get the job done in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson still can't get it done in the playoffs. Josh Allen hasn't taken the Bills to the Super Bowl. So I think that the strategy for any young draft analyst coming up, hate every quarterback comes out of college for the NFL, and like I say, 8 times out of 10, you can have an argument throughout your entire career that you were right.
A professional tip from draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. He is on a roll today, folks. Mel, we're looking at O-linemen here in Cleveland. Do you have a top tackle? And Who is Monroe Freeling, who has come out of nowhere now to actually be mocked at 6 for the Browns, the kid from Georgia?
Well, he's got the one thing that the others don't. He's a true tackle. He's a true left tackle prospect because he has all the skills that you wanted. You know, I mean, think about this kid: 6'7" and a half, 315, tremendous athletic ability. He's still young. He's still developing. He's still got some work to do from that standpoint, but he's got 35 arms. So, you talk about Spencer Fano with 32 and an 8. So, at the end of the day, you're talking about arm length being an issue for some of these guys, where it's not for Freeling. So, I think that's where, again, that's why he's moving up to the point where you're right. He could be in the mix to be a top 10 pick. Field Yates and I just did a rapid-fire mock. Check out where he went in that rapid-fire mock. He's going to go pretty high. I don't think there's any question about that. He could be right up there with the top offensive lineman in this draft. Maui Noah from Miami is a right tackle, projected by a lot to play guard. Fano's projected to guard or center now. Proctor's projected inside the guard by a lot of people. So, yeah, I think as a pure tackle, Caleb Lomu, the other tackle at Utah, is a heck of a left tackle prospect. He's going to get a little bigger, a little stronger, but his feet, his balance, his technique, his athleticism is outstanding. So some team like the 49ers in the late first round are going to get a really good left tackle in Caleb Lomu.
Mel Kiper Jr. is our guest. Mel, by the way, great job on First Draft. I subscribe to that, and I get it all the time. You guys do a great job on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mel, if you look at this draft, where is it? Where is it good? Where is it bad? I hear there's not a lot of top-end talent, but some good starters to be had.
Yeah, wide receiver is the position where I think the first round is going to get hurt a little bit because teams are going to say, well, we can get one in the second, third, fourth round. So that may affect the Denzel Boston or KC Concepcion, people like that, a little bit in the late first round. Maybe they wait on those guys and say, hey, yeah, we could take those guys, but we can wait a little bit and still get a good one. I mean, there's guys like Chris Bell got hurt at Louisville on November 22nd. He would have been a first-round pick. Hurt his knee. If you want to medically redshirt him for a year, you're going to get a first-round talent in 2027 if you want to wait a year. So it'll be interesting to see in the second round if he comes off the board. Antonio Williams from Clemson had a high grade going into the year. Everything went wrong for Clemson, but he's kind of recovered to the point where he could be in the second round mix. I love Chris Brazel, the second out of Tennessee, ran 4.37. Omar Cooper Jr. Indiana's moved up. So that's the position. That's the only position where you can say, boy, there is depth all the way through. The other spots, you got to be picking the right guy. I mean, there's some interior linemen that can play, and some tackles pushed inside, so that might be okay. A couple, I thought, some underrated guys at that center guard spot, but really outside of wide receiver, every other position is very similar. There's guys there. There's guys that are going to drop, but you got to pick the right one.
Mel, there might be 4 Buckeyes in the top 10 of this draft with Reese and Styles and Tate and Caleb Downs. Who do you think would be best with the Browns?
Well, I think Tate, if he were around at 6. Now, we just did our mock, and he was not there. I just did a little teaser. He was not there at 6 for the Cleveland Browns. But if he is, Tate, Tyson would have been from Arizona State had he been healthy. He's got that hamstring that's been lingering. Yet this is his third injury. He had the knee, then the shoulder, and now this hamstring. He's talented, though. And with the ball in his hands, yards after catch, and was a dynamic return man at Colorado early on, right out of high school, and then he got hurt. Tyson's the guy that I think drops a little bit, maybe into the mid-first, but Tate would be the guy of all those Buckeyes if he were there for the Cleveland Browns. The one thing he does that the Browns need, especially with the weather, he's dealt with that at Ohio State, you got to catch the football. And Shedeur and the quarterbacks were plagued by a receiving corps that didn't catch